What's up, chat?
What's up?
What's up?
My beverage is sad, just so y'all know. It ain't looking good, folks. It ain't looking good.
What's up, Domi? Welcome in.
Oh my gosh, it's Dommy Mommy.
I forgot you called her that
now. What's up, Dommy Mommy?
What's up?
Yellow. Big stretch. Whoa. Big stretch. Whoa.
It's me, Domi Mommy.
It's Dommy Mommy.
You're so iconic for that.
Okay.
Is Dommy in the server? If not,
Yeah, Domi's here.
Oh, we need to make them a roll.
We do. Oh my god, let's do
The
it right
Dommy
now.
Mommy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my god, I'm gonna make them a roll right now.
Who's over here? I think I just want to read, guys.
No. No.
Sorry, I got the straight crackhead energy tonight. You can ask Girly. I was straight cracking out in the kitchen.
Crack in the kitchen sound. No, just kidding.
That's so iconic, isn't it? Though
it is. It's very iconic of you.
All right, I had the roll.
Oh
my god, level 23. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I'm still at fucking prestige 7 because I'm trying to save up my blood points.
I am too. I'm on level 33 though, which is nice.
I'm on 28. I'm not too far behind you.
Fuck yeah, look at us leveling up together.
Hell yeah.
But welcome to Titty Tuesdays, guys. Or welcome back.
Titty Tuesdays.
There's a lack of titties on Titty Tuesday.
You know, that is sad.
We're reading two
we need to up the titty count. Okay,
really I know. We need to up it by like 4 times.
We need to have a weekly meeting where we talk about the titties. And bringing up the titties. I'll make the chart.
Make the chart. I'll put it in Canva.
I'll make a spreadsheet for the agenda.
I'll do something.
I'll spread these cheeks. No.
Oh, ayo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I can tell I'm making fucked up tonight. Oh my god.
Right. I'm almost done with my first drink. I don't have that many left.
Do we need to read some titties tonight?
We do need to read some titties.
I mean,
I'm all for the titties.
Me too. I need to read smut tonight.
Oh my god, should I read the Grinch smut I found?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
I think I've told
Respectfully, I beg your fucking pardon?
So, you know how every Friday I have that voice chat call with Aunt Sarah, Matt, Rachel?
Sure.
And we usually smut that she writes. Yeah. Well, we decided a little break, a little venture, if you will, and I was making fun of her because she finds the certain anime characters like fucked up eyebrows, like bushy eyebrows, to be hot. So I've been telling her that she likes some Grinch eyebrows. Oh, look!
It's fucking Pinhead.
And then
Domi loves the role.
Oh my god, good.
Oh, he's right there.
I was giving her a hard time about it and everything. I said, I wonder if there's Grinch smut. And she was like, there's smut of everything. So sure as shit, I looked it up. Oh fuck!
Oh, there is.
I looked it up and I found this fucking I looked it up and there's a smut of Martha May and Grinch, and it's atrocious but hysterical at the same time.
Where the fuck are you finding that shit?
AO3, where else?
Story, and that's what I found.
Either Wattpad or like AO3.
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening now?
I'm coming.
There's not a Naruto one yet. But we did cover Levi from Attack on Titan.
As you fucking should.
Perfect. Oh, Captain Levi. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Girlie's looking at me like, what the fuck? Not
Girly
this
pop.
shit again. Oh,
Stock.
shit.
Oh, shit.
I mean,
I'm trying to think of who else. Hawks from My Hero, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we covered that one. She made a long one about that. There was parts to that. She was really adamant about Hawks. Man.
should we take a break?
The next one.
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
What was the next one? No, you keep going.
Oh no. Oh my god, I picked it out. I think it's Aaron Yeager.
Oh,
From
fuck
Attack on
yeah.
Titan. We wanted a sad boy one where he gets
Sad
dominated.
boy one.
Because Aaron Yeager's a sad boy.
Y'all want to start a story where it's a queer harem where she's gonna end up with 5 women at the end of the series?
Oh, that's a lot of titties.
Oh my god.
It is a lot of titties.
Incredible.
I only have book 1 right now, and it's really short. But we could, because this is really short. We could take a break and do like YA.
Welcome in.
No,
Shit,
incoming,
Amy's coming.
hi.
Amy's coming.
incoming.
She's a lesbian hunter.
What?
What? Huh? Huh? Oh fuck! Oh god! Oh god! Oh no! Not me again! No! 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 Bad Hellraiser boy! Go pin somebody else, please! I'm not into it this time.
I got you.
Not this time.
This time. Welcome
This
to
time? Excuse me?
Excuse me.
That's my cheek.
I beg your fucking pardon? No. I don't know. I mean, these chapters are pretty small, so we probably could get to some titties tonight.
Okay, small.
If y'all
You
are up
motherfucker.
for some... Would y'all be up for some titties tonight?
I'm
Wait,
always
oh,
up for titties. What the fuck?
Y'all
That's
up
my
for some...
personality right there.
Sleeping titties? All titties.
24
All the titties.
for
Well,
real.
here, I'll read...
No, it's not.
I'll read the back for you. I'll read it in my southern accent because
Adam,
it's
run.
hilarious.
Oh,
It's
accent?
hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
My southern... I was just a girl from a small...
Damn, he
from
really
small
wants
town,
to-
Indiana, when my mother asked me to go to the city and beg a favor from a witch. I don't know what it is, and asking my dad is out.
Who doesn't love
He's an
me for
anti-magic pastor, and coming up with a reason why I'll be gone for several days without lying or using the W word is proven to be difficult. I don't know what the W word is.
What, whore?
That's the least of my problems. That's the least of
That's
my
me.
problems. For once I get past the werewolf and vampire, there's the whole business of me not being human and the wickedly attractive witch that explains it all. Creatures I didn't know existed are now after me, and my primal desires try harder to pull me through a portal away from the
Wait, I have
from
a
the
question.
human realm. Yes.
Is the bookstore or we're just going on still?
No, this is the back of the book. This is the back.
No!
I was like, what are you talking
No!
about?
No! Why? Why are you like this? You
I may not understand much about my new life, but one thing is for sure.
May need more than
Daddy would not approve.
I did not approve. Oh, great.
No, you did not get.
Daddy did not give consent.
Daddy would not approve. That's that. Yes, it is very funny. Should we start with chapter 1? Now let me get out of
Please
the
do my southern accent.
Oh God, I'll try. I sound like a southern man, not a woman. So
Southern
it's kind
belle.
of weird. Yeah, I don't sound like a southern belle. I don't know how. Okay, let me see. Chapter. This is The Witch and the Werewolf by Edelyn Red. Okay. Let's try chapter 1. Church bells chime over the quiet town. It's another Sunday morning, and I try to be grateful for the way the early light filters through the trees, but instead I'm just annoyed. Well, she's in Indiana. Indiana's not the South,
Fuck, hang on, B.
right?
Oh, fuck.
Is Indiana the South? I don't fucking
I
know.
think it's Midwest. I don't even know.
I'm dead.
I don't know how to do a fucking Midwest
I don't know
nonsense.
if it's considered the South. Is Indiana considered the South?
What?
Is
Indi-
Indiana
Indi-
considered the South? You're from Texas, you're the expert.
I think it's Midwestern, and I don't know how to do a Midwest. Ooh, betcha. Church bell. No.
Oh, you gotta say the oh.
Oh, no. I'm just gonna read it normally, I guess. Alright.
I'm gonna need more than 2 drinks. Oh my god.
For the titties. For the titties. That may potentially happen. Okay, well this book is, let's see, like 100 and...
It's on those says unstable, just like me.
189 pages.
Yeah, you dumb bitch, heal me.
Alright. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Yes.
I gotta mute.
Yeah, let me
Else I say some dumb shit.
I mean, dumb shit's fine. Dumb shit's fun. Anyways.
Oh shit.
Alright. This is The Witch and the Werewolf by Elin Rye. Betwixt Realms, Book 1. Chapter 1. Church bells chime over the quiet town. It's another Sunday morning, and I try to be grateful for the way the early light filters through the trees, but instead I'm just annoyed. Annabelle, it's time to get up for church. My perfect oldest sister Sarah is shouting through my bedroom door in Mom's stead. Of course, I've been awake for a full hour watching the sun break the horizon and listening to the birds sing their morning songs. But she doesn't know that. I sit up and rub the last of the sleep from my eyes. My sisters have been up for around half an hour, and even if they didn't know I was the sort of person who woke up to sunlight and birds, why they think I'm able to sleep through their showering and chattering is a mystery to me. I'm awake, I tell her, but it comes out as a whisper on my lips. More knocking. It jars my senses, the vibration putting my body on high alert. Get up! We're gonna be late! Clara. She's not pastor kids perfect, not like Sarah, but she cleans up well on Sunday mornings. I'm coming! I shout to everyone, and no one in particular. I throw on something passably fancy and twist my black hair into long braids with practiced hands, then burst open the door. My sisters are staring at me. They're done up in their Sunday best, not to be confused with their prom best or their sneaking out to see their boyfriend's best. Their blonde hair is pristine and their makeup elaborate yet somehow simultaneously subdued, but no amount of decoration makes their smiles look less nasty. I'm the best at following the rules and the worst at looking excited about them, so naturally, I'm the family disappointment. What are you even doing here anyway? I glare at Sarah. Don't you have kids or something? They wanted to visit their grandmother. You know, be a normal family. I roll my eyes. Pastor's kids don't get to be normal. At least we don't. I shove down my retort. Excuse me, please. I need to brush my teeth. I wait for them to move before passing through, minimizing physical contact. As I enter the bathroom, my mother's voice floats up from downstairs. She, too, is pestering me to hurry up, as if my usual 5 minutes getting ready is going to completely ruin everything when we're running an hour ahead of schedule. I take my time. I'm still downstairs within 3 minutes. Ready to go, Mom, I say, moving toward the front door. Aren't you going to eat something? You know we're going to be there for... Yes, Mom. I'll eat donuts when we get there. What if there aren't any that you'll eat? She asks. Then I just won't eat, I shrug. But there will be. Don't worry. Let's go. It's true, Dr. Bell has always made sure to bring vegan donuts for me since the day he learned I was vegan. Everyone thinks he's weird, and in this way he is. He's the only person in my life who actively takes my dietary preferences into consideration. I like him. My mother doesn't. But we don't turn anyone away from the church because something God, and we don't alienate him otherwise because he's the only doctor for miles around. Farm life blows. I leave to walk to the car, making my way past chickens, and take a seat in the back. Clara will want to sit up front, and my love for my mother does not mean I want to sit by her enough to fight Clara for it. I stare out the window and daydream about spending the morning in the forest outside our home instead. There's a deer at the edge of the woods with a fawn. It's later than I usually see them out and about, but the wildlife around my woods has always been a little different. The forest calls to me. It always has. I long for it and for the clearing I found so many years ago as a child. I wasn't born there, but I may as well have been. I remember stories of the times I was found there before I turned 5, when the front door swings open and Mom and Clara come in. "But Mom," Clara nearly screams. Or it might be Clara. "For the last time, no," Mom tells her. I have no idea what they're bickering about. I mostly just want it to stop. It doesn't. It's a long 5-minute ride to the church, and I fail to tune out the argument that seems on whether Clara can move in with her latest boyfriend and take my mother's car on her way out. There's a collective sigh as we pull into our reserved parking space. Clara and Mother put on smiles that I spot as fabricated, but that I doubt anyone else will notice. But I can't find one for myself, given my headache. "Annabelle, smile," my mother says. I roll my eyes, but comply. The falseness on my cheeks almost hurts, but she seems satisfied. My innate inability to lie doesn't spread to my facial expressions, but that doesn't mean I'm good at lying there. At lying there either. They leave the car. There's a stillness for a moment, and I embrace it. Cherish it. But I can't linger here or they'll grow impatient again. So I follow, daydreaming about the woods. Inside, the congregation gathers, pouring what remains of the coffee into their disposable cups and downing it like shots and catching up on the week's latest gossip before it's time to enter the chapel and repent for judging their neighbors. "Anna, here's your donuts." I hear a familiar voice call to me over the din and break into an actual smile. Donuts. Dr. Bill has the hookup for me, as always. "Great, thank you," I say. My mother elbows me for being loud, and I lower my voice. "I appreciate you going to the effort to make sure there's food for me," I say mechanically. My mother smiles. Dr. Bill smiles too, but then he winks at me. I'm pretty sure he hates their charades of conversation as much as I do. Her attention is diverted by Mrs. Allen, and my heart breaks a little at the memories. I want to ask Mrs. Allen how her daughter is doing, but I know better than to raise the subject. It's my fault her daughter isn't around anymore, after all. Mrs. Allen, for her part, looks at me with an expression of vague disgust. I smile back at her, or try to, then turn my attention back to Dr. Bill. Dr. Bill is the kind of guy who wants everyone to feel comfortable around him, even neighborly, but hasn't quite figured out how to actually hold conversations with most people. I love him. My penchant for honesty makes talking to him easier because we're able to skip right past those pesky social cues neither of us understand. So even though I have no interest in actually being his friend, as a healthcare practitioner, he does a great job listening to what I am saying and providing care accordingly. Everyone else I know seems to only tolerate him at best, my mother included, and I have the sense that if there were a reasonable alternative for checkups and smaller illnesses, Dr. Bill would likely go out of business. "She'll forgive you one day," he says to me point blank. "I'm not so sure about that," I whisper back. Better to believe me a perverted seductress than believe her daughter might not be straight. He shrugs. "Maybe she won't forgive you. But she'll die before you, so that's something, right?" The last part he says a little too loudly, and some nearby churchgoers glare at him. I giggle. "Why do you come here?" I ask him. "I can tell you don't care much for the sermons," I whisper. He ponders over his answer and measures his words as he speaks. "I enjoy the company," he says. "Things get a little lonely waiting for clients to come by, and I usually hope they won't because I don't want to wish someone sick or hurt." I nod. People are clearing out of the lobby and into the chapel, and the crowd thins. As usual, we're some of the last ones and the two with the least urgency. I catch my mother glaring at me. She tosses a cup in the trash, and my sisters exchange words and smile, then follow her. I resist the urge to roll my eyes, but barely. Bill and I move to follow, taking our time and letting others pass. I sense he wants to ask me something once we're out of my family's earshot, and I'm always ready to be honest with people who will actually listen. How are your dreams these days? He asks me. I know you were having some issues there for a while. Same old, I shrug. I dream about the woods. It's amazing and I remember almost none of it. I wake up safely in my bed. That's the part he's most curious about, I'm sure. I couldn't always say I stayed in bed. As a child, I was prone to sleepwalking, much to everyone's terror. Good, he says. Well, not good that you don't remember them, but good that you aren't sleepwalking. Anymore, I mean. Yes, thank you, I tell him, toss my cup into the bin, and enter into the chapel. I appreciate it, I add, and I mean it sincerely. He had been the only one to take my sleepwalking seriously, and to actually attempt to address the cause with me. Everyone else had treated it like a massive inconvenience. The chapel is, as usual, almost completely full. Up front, my mother and my sisters, and there's an empty spot next to them for me. I sigh and make my way forward. I don't sense that our town is particularly pious, but there's not much else to do here on Sunday mornings, or in general, so we usually have a packed house. I smile at people as I pass them, waving at those who wave back. Mrs. Allen is on the aisle seat in the 4th row, and she pointedly ignores me. I wave at her anyway. I settle into my seat next to my mother. In front of us, my father is organizing his notes for the day, and when the static of the microphone turning on rings through the room, the crowd goes quiet. He smiles. Welcome, everyone, he says. Today, we're going to talk about integrity. Chapter 2. When are you going to stop eating rabbit food? My mother teases me over the lunch she forces on me after finding some vague excuse to take me and me alone out to lunch after the service. She has a habit of deciding where we're going without my input and with no respect for my personal food choices. Then she makes fun of whatever I manage to MacGyver from the menu. Whenever you take me to a restaurant with vegan options that aren't salads without cheese. I stab a tomato with my fork and pop it into my mouth. Its juice sliding across my tongue and shutting me up before I dial up the snark further. She glares at me, not breaking eye contact as she stabs a piece of chicken, puts it in her mouth, and chews. A few long moments pass before she says anything. I fight the urge to scroll Facebook on my cell phone while waiting for her to get to the point of this meeting. It seems unlikely to just decide to deride my eating habits, though I'm not sure I would put it past her. She sighs and wipes her mouth with a cloth napkin, then sits back in her chair and gives me another long look. Meeting her eyes, I see she's tired. Mother of myself and 2 others, with me, the youngest at 23. She isn't exactly what I'd call young, but she certainly isn't old enough to be as tired as she appears or to explain away the wrinkles that tug at her skin. Mother, I begin more softly. Something is going on. What's wrong? I ask. Guess we should just get to the point. She begins to cry. No wails or sobs, but silent tears that run down her cheeks so suddenly, I wouldn't have noticed if the lighting were even slightly different. Annabelle, I need help, she says. She shakes her head. I don't want to bother you with the details, but things aren't good. I need you to visit.
Blue is so talented.
She lowers her voice. The witch. I take a large gulp of coffee to avoid chortling at her. I can tell this is a very serious matter for her, but there's only so much I can take in stride. My mother is the devout Christian wife of a devout Christian man whose religious leanings sometimes, often go full circle into superstition. They're the kind of people who find the idea of ghosts laughable, but fully embrace it when you call them spirits. The result is that they live in what seems to me like an elaborate fantasy world juxtaposed over the real one, and everyone in the real world takes up roles in their fantasy.
Oh, it's a blight.
I don't know who the witch is in the fantasy. The witch?
Oh, be
I
careful.
asked, making a point once again to ask the question and then shut myself up with lettuce. If she's sending me to visit someone she deems a witch, it must be super important to her. Anyway. He glances around the nearly empty diner on the outskirts of town, as if someone might be eavesdropping on her. One other patron, a man reading a newspaper 3 tables over, ignores us, but she eyes the back of his head for a full minute before continuing. Yes, she says.
Okay, you need to run.
Services.
I got you.
Services, I say slowly. What kind of services? Her face flushes. It's not important. She's lying, but hey, she can have that lie if she wants it. I just wondered if you would be willing to visit her on my behalf. I take another sip of coffee. Can't you email her? Her eyes go wide, and she seems to appraise me. You know I don't know how to do those fancy tech things, she says, and I don't want to try to send anything to her via email. You know, risks. Right. Risks. I say, watching her for a long moment. I sigh. Okay, I'll visit her for you. Sure.
Oh
I don't like running errands for my mother. Truly, I don't. And yet, if she wants me to visit someone she considers a witch, she has to be desperate. She takes a deep breath and nods, pulling an envelope and a piece of paper from her purse. Take this envelope to her. Her address is on the paper, along with a list of things I'd like you to take to her. She looks down, as if thinking through her next words carefully. You'll need to go into the city, she starts. I read the list. Milk, eggs, bread. You know they have grocery stores in Indianapolis, right? And you'd know how much better farm eggs are if you ever eat them. Trust me, she'll appreciate them. I make a face. I try to avoid letting my feelings on how my family eats on their farm show as little as possible. When she frames it as me eating it, she laughs. I roll my eyes. Okay, sure. And wine?
No.
She'll appreciate that too. Your father makes the best wine. She's not lying. Exactly. But I can tell from the way she avoids meeting my eyes that she's not telling me the full truth either. I raise an eyebrow at her and stare for a long moment before speaking. But that isn't why you're having me take them to her. She flushes, glancing from side to side, ever the jumpy, illicit haggler no one actually cares about. It's necessary to make the spell work correctly, my labor for hers.
Hang on.
I nod once to show my understanding. The spell? You sure you need a spell for this problem? I cross my arms, still holding my fork, and a piece of lettuce falls to the table. Neither of us acknowledge it. What are you asking this witch for, anyway? Annabelle! She shouts, then quiets her voice back to a conspiratorial whisper. You know I can't tell you. Not with your habit. The one where I am literally incapable of lying. Right. So where are you going to tell Father I am when I'm gone for several days? You know I'm not driving 6 hours for a 1-hour meeting. It hasn't seemed to cross her mind. Great. But I know my mother when she's determined. She always finds an answer. She pulls her wallet from her purse and hands me a small stack of 20s. I raise my eyebrows. We'll just tell him you're sightseeing. So here's some cash for you to sightsee. We won't even have to lie to him. That Friday, I load up the Honda with a small fortune of farm goods and crafts. Homemade bread, free-range eggs, milk straight from the cow, wine fermented in our basement, and a scarf my mother knit herself. Everything is in a beautiful decorative basket with a bow, an envelope with a card, and the envelope with a letter from my mother explaining her situation. Whatever it is. Hurry, hurry before one of your sisters sees it, Mother says, nearly pushing me out the front door and following behind me. I set the basket between the front and back seats on the floor. I certainly don't want the wine bottle to break in transit, and shut the door. Basket out of sight, Mother visibly relaxes, giving me a hug. Be careful, she says. Make sure you drive straight there. You don't want to be trying to learn the city in the dark. And if you can, go to her first thing, so she has time to work on it while you're seeing museums. And be careful around the city boys. They don't share our values, she finishes, as always assuming we have the same ones. And don't get any tattoos? I ask, eyebrow raise. She blanches. Joking, Mom. She swats me playfully and turns serious, her back carefully toward the house. There's that tear again. Anything she asks for to get this problem solved, she can have it. Just call me. Sure thing, Mom, I say. See you Sunday. I roll the window up against her crying face and put the car in reverse. Something is very, very wrong. The car is a little bit past its prime. We've never needed for much on the farm, and all things considered, and the money my father brings home from church each week is more than enough to cover essentials and give us small luxuries. But a new car isn't high up on the priority list. But the Honda is reliable. Or it was, until I'm zooming down the highway and the engine makes noises that tell me it's time to pull the fuck over. I take the nearest exit, about an hour away from home, far enough for this to be an inconvenient, necessary stop, and far enough from Indianapolis that it isn't like I'm about to just call a cab or something. Awesome. I pull into one of those truck shops where everything is bright and shiny and park the car in a spot that's just out of the way of the entrance. I meander inside, looking through the sweets selection. I have a serious craving for something fruity and sugary, and make my way to the section of the shop aimed at truckers who need to do some quick on-the-road repairs. I know just enough about cars to think that I can grab a few tools and might be able to get it roadworthy again. I'm wrong, of course, but that's its own problem. Looking for something? A voice travels to me from down the aisle. A man approaches, glancing from the tools in my hand to the dress that makes me resemble Dorothy a la Wizard of Oz, in a way that's either cute or the dorkiest thing ever, depending on who you ask. He towers over me, nearly a foot taller than my 5'5", with muscles stringing against the fabric of his shirt. His face is angular, perfect, as if chiseled in marble, and he looks me over like he's quite literally considering eating me for dinner. I feel like one of those heroines from the paperback book my sisters are always reading with half-naked guys on the cover. I know this is the kind of man who considered very attractive, and he's eyeing me like he wants to carry me off somewhere. The thing about being the youngest of 3 girls is that I watched my older sisters go through adolescence and their teenage years before I really even understood it. My oldest sister is the stand-up one of us, and dated a few boys long-term until she finally got married to one before she could legally drink. Serial monogamist with 2 children and a house with a picket fence and I swear, golden retriever. The sister after her is more the wild child. I know she's dated a lot of boys and slept with more and never brings them home. Not that I can tell you who she's dated. Neither trust me with information they don't want others to know because of my penchant for telling the truth, and only the truth. But I know her type from the posters she keeps on the wall and the men she squeals at on television. Both of my sisters would say that this guy is hot. All I am is annoyed. I've been standing for a longer silent moment than intended. He pulls one perfect corner of his mouth into a half smile. Car trouble? He asks. Something like that. I nearly mutter it. He nods in understanding and takes the tools from my hands, putting them back on the shelf. You're in luck. I just so happen to be an auto mechanic. I stare straight at him and fight the urge to roll my eyes. I do not want to pay this dude to fix my parents' car. That is not happening. I start, then trail off. He actually breaks into a total grin at that, the asshole. Don't worry, I don't pick up customers at truck stops.
Not again.
He says, taking my hand and leading me back out to the parking lot. His hand is huge, engulfing mine and cool to the touch, like he's been holding a soda can, fresh from the fridge. The hairs on my arm stand on end, and he notices. I sincerely hope the chuckle that comes from his throat is a coincidence for a moment. Then he adds, I do sometimes pick up girls from truck stops, though. I blink, unsure how to respond to that. I decide to ignore it. His presence is distinctly uncomfortable, like a black hole that sucks all the spirit from the air. Something pulled me towards him, and I can't quite walk away. Or maybe I'm just imagining being stuck. I have been said to have a very vivid imagination. He moves to my car and pops the hood, then grabs a toolbox from his own vehicle. A fancy one, by the looks of it, though not one I recognize. I try not to be impatient as I watch, but I'm still trapped somewhere between needing the car fixed and not wanting to be in his presence, feeling magnetized towards him and not wanting to be rude. When he finally emerges, he says, It is my professional opinion that you should leave this car here to get repaired in the morning and go home with me. There's that smile again. Callie would go for it. Me? I'm ready to scream at him. Are you even a mechanic? He sighs, pulling a card from his wallet. He is legit. And his name is Fabian, for fuck's sake. Fabian, the unexpected auto mechanic who is classically attractive and wants me to go home with him. Ugh. Thanks, but, I say to the cards all class, I will find my own accommodations for the night.
Hey, there's my homie.
I'm going to sleep in the car. Do you have someone you'd recommend for this job around here? He smiles again, painfully white teeth nearly shining in the truck station's lighting. Just me. I do my best to hide my displeasure. How much will it cost me? For you? Nothing, he says, smile widening. I shudder and hope he misses it. Can't beat that deal, I guess. Thank you, I say instead, and mean it. Mostly. At least come sleep on my couch, he says, pushing the issue. There aren't any hotels around here. Or did you just plan to sleep in your car? Busted. I start, then stop, and tense. Maybe she doesn't want to go home with strange men, Fabian. A woman shouts from across the parking lot. How she's heard any of our conversation, I have no idea. We've been speaking conversationally, but not loudly, but I'm grateful. Fabian is less so, his lips pull back into a snarl. She sachets up to him, all 5 feet of her, then stands a foot from him and stares into his eyes. His hand on her hand on her hip, and her face resolute. And in that moment, even with the size difference, I bet money she'd win in a fight. And you think her sleeping in the car is a better plan? If he's intimidated, he doesn't show it. Or do you think her going home with a strange woman is a better option? I think people should listen to the word no more often. She glares at him. I'm pretty sure my mouth is hanging open and I can't quite get it to shut. Not that your kind have ever been good at that. I notice you're on my turf again. Passing through, he mutters. What have I gotten myself into? And what have I gotten myself into the middle of? Goodbye, Fabian.
Oh, it's the trapper.
She waits. She waves with her hand on her hip, blinking at him until he backs off. If you need me to save you from... He tilts his head toward the woman who's inserted herself into the conversation. Her, you have my number. She's not what she seems. Goodbye, Fabian. Or Fabian, I don't know. The woman says, glaring at him until he gets into his truck and drives off.
Oh,
then she turns to me.
My God. You've actually got
My world stops. This woman is the most beautiful person I've ever seen. I'm sure of it. Flawless dark brown skin, box braids that fall down her back, curves that remind me of images I've seen of goddesses. She appraises me, a small smile turning up the corners of her lips, and I swear that in the moonlight her eyes are the most captivating shade of yellow-orange.
be really careful.
Something ancient awakens in me at the sight of her. And in that moment, I'm willing to follow her anywhere. I'm staring. It's rude. She's perfect. I can't stop. So do you really want to sleep in your car? Her question breaks me out of my reverie. She caught me staring. I sincerely hope she isn't about to ask me questions about it. Her eyes nearly twinkles with what seems to be a knowing look, like she could see into my mind.
Oh, fuck.
Or do you want me to drive you the rest of the way? Or to a motel? There isn't a suggestion in her words the way there had been with Fabian's. It's a sincere offer. I just stare at her, trying to determine what the catch is. She's being so nice about the whole thing. I'm going all the way to Indianapolis, I say, instead of actually answering her questions. I found my words again, sure, but that doesn't mean I'm in any position to put them together coherently. Let's get you to Indianapolis then, she says, fishing keys from her pocket and hitting a button that makes a fancy red convertible's lights flash in the dark. If you wanna, I mean, she adds, seeming to realize I haven't actually said yes yet.
Thanks, homie.
Like I'm going to tell this woman no. I mean, sure, but my car... Shit. She waves her hand dismissively. I'll have my guys fix it, and you can grab it on your way home. I swear, I usually speak without so many ums, but this whole situation is getting embarrassing very quickly. Okay, I'll get my things. So I go to the car and get out my small suitcase, my purse, and the damn basket. If she has comments about the thing, she keeps them to herself as she takes it to her own vehicle and puts it safely on the floor. Then we drive into the night. So what are you going to Indianapolis for anyway? She asks, speeding down the road over the music she plays just a little too loudly for my comfort, her braids blowing in the wind behind her. She's radiant in the moonlight. I'm not about to tell her I'm on the way to visit a witch on behalf of my very Christian mother behind my very Christian father's back. I'm... sightseeing. She raises an eyebrow. Sightseeing? What sights are you seeing? I don't have defined plans yet, other than to drop off this basket, I add. Because of course I do. She smiles at me. Again, I wish she'd stop. I'm getting flustered and it's embarrassing. Of course. The basket. Where are you taking it anyways? Uh-oh.
Oh, I must mess that up.
I'm dropping it off for my mother. Evade. Where are you dropping it off? At the address on the paper. She rolls her eyes. Yep, definitely yellow-orange. I gotta know, so I can take you there. I read the address aloud, and she outright chuckles. You're going to Hazel's place. Hazel. Right, she isn't just the witch. She has a name. Duh, Annabelle. You know her? She gives me a look. Yeah, I know her. You can't be one of us and not know her. One of... us? I have absolutely zero idea what she's talking about. Maybe they're in a secret club. Or maybe she's also a witch. It's hard to say. Yeah, one of us. Like you and me. Whoa, no. I'm not a witch. Or in any secret clubs. I stare at her silently enough to make it awkward. The radio playing something loud in the empty space. Wait. You don't know. It's a statement, not a question. I don't know what. She shakes her head silently. Not now. Okay, conversation closed. This woman is intense, and I'm completely out of my depth. Why are you going to visit Hazel? Come on, don't I get to keep any secrets? I ask by way of avoiding answering the question. She shrugs. Fine. I'll find out eventually. She hums with the music, her attention back on the road and away from me. But at least tell me your name. Annabelle, I say, and it occurs to me that a more sensible person would have introduced themselves before getting into someone's car. Cool, I'm Sylvie. Nice to meet you, Belle. No one's ever called me Belle before, but I like the way it sounds on her lips, so I don't correct her. Do you make it a habit to pick up random girls at truck stops and drive them several hours away? I asked, still trying to figure out how she has so much time to do this shit. Nah, she answers, and her eyes flick to me in the mirror under false eyelashes. But you're special. You're one of us. Whatever that means. And I wasn't about to let Fabian hunt on my turf, so here we are. I have the impression that he does that often, I say, remembering the ease with which his advances rolled off his tongue and shuddering. She sighs, yes and no, and he'll be lucky if I don't beat his ass for trying it on my turf regardless. Your turf? She shrugs. It's complicated. Like one of us? Exactly. I'm looking at her face when she slams on the brake. The car lurches forward as it stops, and we collide with something. Fucking hell, she says. I apparently should have actually killed him. Give me just a minute to stretch, and I will be right back, because I just need to stand up and stretch.
Okay, take your time, Flo.
Where's Toto?
I'm on tier 37. It goes in 12 hours. Oh my god. Alright, there you go. You know what? Let me give this shot at the blue real quick. Best homie ever, for real. There we go. Oh shit.
Okie dokes. I was back. And I hit my finger.
Fuck me.
Ow.
Dude.
It's fine. Okay. Oh, chapter 3. Chapter 3, chapter 3, chapter 3, chapter 3.
Darkness against the unknown.
Chapter 3.
That's an add-on.
A man lays in the road in front of the car, no visible signs of injury, though the front bumper is badly bent. I release my seatbelt and strain to look at him, but Sylvie holds up one hand to single at me to stay in the car, and I'm not about to argue in my shock. She seems less shocked and more annoyed. What the hell, Fabian? Her voice rings out in the darkness. I simply stare, wide-eyed. I can't see him. Not really. And I have no idea whether there are injuries I'm just not seeing from my vantage point.
Dude,
Something like a low snarl comes from his general direction, and a shiver down my spine puts the hairs on my arms on end. Let's go, Annabelle, he says to me, suddenly by my side of the car, opening my door and reaching for my seatbelt. His eyes are red and light, a dark maroon I mistook for a deep brown in the fluorescent lighting of the truck stop, and once again, as if magnetized, I obey him even as everything in my body shouts, no. He smiles, his lips widening to show shining white teeth.
Like, I'm terrified.
Come on, hurry. She's not safe, Annabelle. He says my name urgently, and the attention drawn to it makes me wonder how he knows it. I don't remember introducing myself to him, but I take his hand to let him lead me away. I don't see his car, have no idea where we're going, and Sylvie growls. She's with me. Back off.
Like this. I don't like the unknown.
This isn't your turf, Sylvie. He spits her name like a curse. I'm free to do as I wish here. Not to take what's mine, she counters. And I have no idea how to process the sentence and the weirdness of what had become of what was supposed to be a solitary 3-hour drive.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Little Red Riding Hood went off the path, I think, and nearly chuckle. Fabian calls her bluff. She's not yours. Or is she just going to be another one of the girls you eat up? So, what? I should just let you drain her? Don't be silly. You know I don't drain non-humans.
No, bring it to me. Don't bring
Sylvie's
it to me.
eyes go
Don't you dare
wide, but
bring
her
it to me.
snarl doesn't erase either. She doesn't know, Fabian. All the better to take her then. His hand grabs the collar of my dress and he lifts me fully off the ground and onto his back. Hold on, he says to me. And then he runs. Nothing prepares me for Fabian's speed. My hands are glued to him, not only from his magnetism, but also from pure fear-based adrenaline, as he runs at what I guess is over 30 miles per hour off the highway and through trees. I have no sense of time. It feels like hours that he runs, though I know we are probably still in the minutes range when he finally stops, and I fly off him onto soft greenery in the middle of a clearing. I'm disoriented and pretty sure I fell asleep at some point and I'm now dreaming. Else I'm hallucinating. Either way, I've messed up somewhere. What? The questions I want to ask can't leave my mouth. What was that? Why are we here? Where's your car?
I'm flipping
What
out right
are
now.
you? I saved you, he announced, strutting around, oh so proud of himself for kidnapping me, as far as I can tell. Saved me from what? Someone taking me where I was trying to go before my car broke down?
Man, I can't save you. I really can't save
I
you.
barely blinked, and he's over me, his hand wrapping itself around the front of my collar and holding me up to look into my eyes. Saved you from the damned werewolf. I gulp. At this point, I don't not believe him, but I laugh. Anyways, I'm delirious by now. Sylvie is a werewolf? I say, not quite asking and not quite agreeing, just saying it. Putting his implication into words. Yes, he says. I nod. And you are?
Hang on.
A handsome man keeping all you on the right path and making sure the wolf doesn't gobble you up, obviously, he says with a huge smile. I stare, transfixed, somehow not able to pull my gaze from his incisors. Something in my head is trying to click into place, but my reality hasn't shifted enough for my conscious mind to accept it. Whatever it is. But what if I want her to? I ask. It's the wrong question. In a swift moment, he has me on my back, his body pinning me to the ground in a way that probably would be terrifying if the very axis of my reality wasn't in the middle of tilting. His cool breath is on my neck, and I leaned into it, drawn to him despite my revulsion. Then you're too far off the path, he whispers, his mouth tugging at my ear. That's not how we do things. Little girls like you are for men to gobble up and keep safe from perverse influences.
Oh, no.
The irony of his words is not lost on me, but I'm in no position to point it out. I moan softly, not from arousal, but from frustration. He smiles,
This is so bad.
willfully misinterpreting it. There you go, he says. We might be able to save you yet.
Come here.
I close my eyes. I'm done for. I can't find the willpower to act on my desire to escape, even if I thought I could somehow get out from under the massive dude over me. A dude who can run faster than the human record, but through the woods, and carrying another person on his back.
Stop fucking moving.
Yeah, no. And suddenly he's off me, his hands gone and his breath replaced by the warm air of the summer night. I sit up and blink, looking around me for him, but he's gone. And all there is a gigantic wolf with a deep brown coat and the most amazing yellow-orange eyes, staring at me in a clearing in the woods. It occurs to me that it might have killed Fabian and is likely to kill me. Even if it doesn't, I'm so lost in the woods, it's likely I'll die out here anyways. Maybe the stories I grew up with that warned us not to associate with witches were true. Maybe this is all a result of the errand I'm trying to run. A cosmic retribution for going outside of the church to handle problems. They aren't even my problems, they're my mother's. And now I'm going to die trying to get her requested help for a problem I don't even know about. And that damn basket is still in Sylvie's car. I nearly start laughing again. I'm almost merely annoyed by my inevitable death at this point. I sigh and close my eyes, letting whatever is to happen come to pass. Earth to Annabelle. We need to get back to the car. I left my keys in the ignition. I opened my I opened my eyes, blinking at the sight of, well, Sylvie. I shake my head and blink some more. Sylvie stands before me, naked in the moonlight, her yellow-orange eyes earnest as she reaches out a hand to me. I try not to stare. I stare. Annabelle, please, she says. I really want to go back to the car. I shake my head again, trying to get everything to line up, then take her hand and stand before the pieces fall into place. I take a breath, then swallow, then try to find something to say. My mouth opens and shuts several times before I get any words out. I'm gonna need you to explain some things to me, I say finally. She nods. Yeah, figured. But until we get to the car, I need you to trust me. Well, okay. Whatever, she says. I'm going to change back, and then I need you to get on top of me and hold on. Fuck. Running back through the woods on a werewolf this time? I don't have a chance to protest. She shifts back, then pads up to me and leans down in a silent command for me to climb aboard. I'm never visiting a witch again. I'm prepared to definitely declare that. But I follow her directions, get on her back, and grab onto long hair on her chest. Her wolf chest, because apparently she's a werewolf. Because that makes any kind of sense. And then we're off, bounding through the woods. I can't say whether we're going back the same way we came, or going deeper into the woods with all the chaos of the evening, but what else am I going to do? Trees rush past, and animals scurry away as we approach, but before I know it, we're back on the edge of the woods. Close enough, there's the whoosh of cars passing on the highway. The wolf, Sylvie, damn it, lets me down, and I wander back toward the road in a daze. The car, miraculously, is exactly where we left it. I wonder whether it's been 15 minutes or several hours since we went into the woods. I climb into the passenger seat, and Sylvie is close behind me, tying the dress she'd worn earlier back on her waist, then takes her place in the driver's seat and presses the gas. She doesn't say anything. I don't say anything. I don't know what to say. This trip has gotten out of hand. I just rode on the back of a werewolf, and all at this point is to be back in my bedroom with my cat. How are you feeling? She asks, breaking the silence between us. I still don't have words. I'm not sure she should expect me to have words. She glances at me in the mirror again. I make the mistake of looking up at the wrong moment and making eye contact in the reflective surface, but quickly divert my gaze. Mama's home. Focusing my attention on the road. It's no use. I keep seeing creatures that probably aren't there in the shadows that disappear when I watch too closely. This happens to me a lot, but I always wrote it off as my eyes playing tricks on me in the past. Now I'm not so sure.
Oh, he's nasty.
I didn't want it to come out that way, she says by way of explanation, and based on her tone, perhaps also by way of apology. We left my turf shortly after we headed out from the truck shop. I should have known. Fabian is not a werewolf. There's a word for what he is, and it isn't coming out of my mouth, even though the whispered word floats around in the back of my mind. Her mouth makes a thin line. We'll have to talk about it once we get to Hazel's. I'm pretty sure that any sensible person, aka not me, would insist on exiting the car and calling a taxi. Or summoning a lift. Or fuck, maybe even hitchhiking rather than staying in the car with a woman who they've seen turn from a wolf into a woman to woman to wolf again. Then again, well, she saved me from whatever Fabian is. And it's doubtful a taxi driver could scare away a man who potentially possesses supernatural speed. Okay, I say. I guess we'll talk at Hazel's house then. I can tell we're getting close to the city by the way the stars become less. The ramp off the highway into the city is nothing special, but as we approach, the skyscrapers loom in the distance, lights twinkling in windows despite the hour. 3:07 a.m. Or so the digital clock reads in red on the convertible center console. Sylvie and I still haven't spoken yet. I don't really mind it at this point. I'm still trying to process, well, everything. Are you sure we should go to Hazel's this late? I finally asked. I have no idea what hours were reasonable visiting hours for the witch type, even if it makes intuitive sense to me that a werewolf would keep to a more or less nocturnal schedule. Yes,
Oh my god.
she says so curtly I would be taken aback on any other occasion. She sighs, as if hearing her tone, and adds, Hazel's is the only place I trust to be secure for the evening. She'll understand. And if she's annoyed, I'll take the blame. Deal? She flicks her braids back over her shoulder in a way that reveals the beautiful curve of her neck. And I'm back to being mesmerized. Deal. I agree. What else am I really supposed to say to that? I'm not about to try to argue with her on this in my mesmerized, dazed, and confused state. Her phone reads out directions from its GPS app. She makes a series of turns through a neighborhood with old-fashioned buildings that house independent shops and chain restaurants until she makes it onto a quiet street. You have arrived, the voice on her phone says, and she pulls over and kills the engine. She pulls the keys from the ignition, stashes the bunch in her pocket. Like a couple more pages. Grabs my suitcase and the gift basket and walks to the door. I get out and follow her. It takes everything in me to keep walking instead of staring at the house. Hazel's house, the witch's house, that I'm following Sylvie, the werewolf, into. The house is both exactly what I would have guessed it to be and nothing like it, nondescript enough that I probably wouldn't have noticed it had we not stopped in front of it. It's a simple cottage-style place with a chimney and in it the darkness, but the porch is light enough to show me the place is made of stone. Ivy crawls up most of the wall, and there are various colorful ornaments among the plants in the front yard. As we walk up the stone path toward the door, it swings open. Perhaps we've woken Hazel on our way over, or perhaps Sylvie has contacted her at some point without me noticing. I don't see her at first. The door is hidden from sight by Sylvie despite the smallness of her frame. God, I'm certain witches are old women, decked out into a million shawls, who walk with sticks they can use to stir their cauldrons when the mood strikes them. Naturally, I have no idea what witches are. So when I see a radiant woman with golden red hair standing in a beautiful blue satin gown, my mouth falls open before I can stop myself. Come on, Annabelle. I know she's pretty, but we've got to get inside. I shut my mouth and my cheeks heat up. I'm not used to everyone around me being absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not used to being teased over my inability to do, well, anything as a result. My sister spent a lot of time teasing me about boys, but I can brush that off since there's absolutely zero truth to their implications. But this, now, well, I still need to get used to being teased about actual real reactions I have to people. Actual real reactions I have to people. And certainly not by one of the people I'm busy being mesmerized by. Yeah, that's new. I get myself together, just enough to prepare for my world to tilt again. Alright, we can stop there. Oh my lord.
That was
yeah.
awesome, Blue.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
I guess we'll
understand the pain. I know your throat's probably tired. My throat gets so tired every fucking Friday night when I have to read.
Oh, yeah. It's alright. It's more just my mouth gets dry more than anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I think we finished on, like, the second half. Finished the first half of, like, chapter 3. So.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So, yeah. So, next week, we'll continue with Reawakened. And then, we'll come back to this one. So I guess if you want the titty, come back every other week for a little while.
Also, if you
Damn
guys
it! I
are
was hoping we were
great,
gonna get re-ranked by the team.
I know, I'm sorry.
if you guys
Let
are
me see,
Quit
what
Thursday, I'm okay.
chapter are the titties? Hold on, give me a second. So that's chapter 4. That's a kiss. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, okay, I think I found it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Chapter. Wait, hold on. Chapter 5.
Oh, so okay, fuck yeah.
And we were back into chapter 3, so alright.
Alrighty.
And I'll send you the stuff to put it on the slideshow because we changed books tonight. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Shit, that is wrong.
I finally am fulfilling my promise of Titty Tuesday. Soon. Hopefully. We'll see. Anyway.